Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and this video is going to be my top 10 4Ks of 2023. In this video, I've tried to stay away from the heavy hitters, which I will mention. But these ones here, these 10 I've got, are ones that have kind of taken me by surprise. When I watched them, I was like, wow, this is really something else. But the brand new movies that they came out, you expect them to look that good. But those ones over there quite surprised me. So that's why I've got those 10 over there. Also, as well, I just want to talk quickly to say my membership option to the channel is live now. If you want to join, don't have to, no pressure whatsoever. There's stuff on there if you want to check it out, and that's purely if you want to. There's no pressure on that. It's not me trying to sell that to you. It's just an option you want to take if you want to. And also, it'll not change the content on this channel at all. This channel's content is going to be exactly the same. It's just you'll get some extra stuff on there. And I'm trying to build that up at the minute. And I want to thank Warp Art Studio for becoming my first member on there. Thanks a lot, mate. Really do appreciate that. So, let's see what's on this list. But before I do that, I will talk about these honourable mentions, which are these brand new movies, which I watched for the first time. All of these movies I've seen before, probably in previous incarnations, but these are the first times I've watched them this year, well, last year, on 4K. So at number 3 in the honourable mentions list, which I can't say, is Nope. This movie was filmed like basically in a desert, and I'll not talk too much about these movies. I'll tell you really what I think about them. I'll tell you a brief sort of synopsis what I think of them. This movie is filmed outside. It's got some insane picture quality because it's like basically bright sunshine for half of the movie. Half of the movie is dark as well. The dark parts in this movie is just really sensational. But you would obviously expect that. Is there any action in it? That's your answer to that. Well, there is to a certain extent. I said to Deborah, do you want to watch this one? I said, I watched that one. I didn't think much of it. She says, why did you watch it? And I says, well, I didn't think you would. She says, well, I do want to watch it. And I went, oh. So anyway, I will be watching this again with Deborah, see what she thinks of it. Maybe second time watch. Always watch these movies twice. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying it was a little bit strange for me. So at number 3, that's Nope. At number 2 is Elvis. Elvis is such a bright movie, and it's set in the 70s, and also the clothes and the costumes and everything in the 50s are great. I think this movie it's a strange movie for the fact that it takes a lot of liberties with the story, but the bits, well, especially the second half of the movie, which I talked about before, it really delivers, and the picture quality in here is absolutely stunning. So is the sound. The sound on all these are insane as well. So number 2, that's Elvis. Bet you can't guess what's number 1. Of course, it's Maverick. This is, I mean, we've seen this 4 times now. This is just such a great film. We love this movie, and I would watch it. If I said to Deborah, do you want to watch Maverick? She would say, yeah, we'll watch it any time of day. It's such a good movie. It's really strange us saying that because we weren't big fans of Tom Cruise for the longest time. But this one, it's filmed with loads of IMAX shots. It's revolutionary, the pictures that they've got inside the cockpits and all that. So it's obvious this is going to be number 1. But because I've got these 3, these would be 3, 2, and 1. That's a bit predictable. I wanted to go down the route of these other ones. There may be some surprise in there. So let's see what they are. At number 10 is Tenbury. I'm going to say that all of these movies look spectacular. That's a given. So I'm not going to say spectacular 10 times around, but what I'm going to say is that this movie has had a bit of a sort of checkered past when it's come to being getting released. Arrow did do a version of this way back when, and it was really poor, if I'm honest. They did do a better version, which was quite good. But this one here is the zenith of this movie. It shows things. I mean, Dario Argento's filmmaking is second to none, really, for what he does, and it shows you his actual skills in this movie, and it's so good. I mean, Deborah watched this and she was blown away by it. Actually, it's a really good giallo, one of the best actually. And it's when you get these ones, you kind of you haven't went back to them for a bit, and you go and see them again, and you realize that actually the 4K really adds to the enjoyment of the movie because you're seeing some of these movies in a different light because you're seeing it as a director intended, and you're also seeing it in a way that you haven't seen before. And that's a great thing about these movies. You're kind of seeing them as if you're saying, wow, this is like the first time for me. So at number 10, that's Tenebrae. At number 9 is Croupier. This was a movie that I'd never seen before. And when it came out, I got this cheap with that. Sometimes these ones, I mean, it's only £15. And I thought, right, I'm getting that. And you'd think, well, is it going to be all right? And I was quite interested to see it, actually reading about it. It takes place in this fella he's a writer, but he's also going to to do this, to work as a croupier, which he used to do. He went to be a writer, that didn't work out for him, so he went to be a croupier. There's quite a few twists and turns to this movie. I wasn't expecting it. It's a British movie, and it's such I can't describe how this picture quality was like. It was I was really expecting something to be kind of 80s and just not a bit like garish, but not that colourful. This movie is super colourful. Obviously, with the tables that they do when they go into these like gambling places, these just come to life. The greens and the blues and all the stuff and the chips that they've got. It's such an incredibly colourful movie. I think it's probably the colours on here really blew me away more than anything else. So the picture's dead sharp as well. It's great that Arrow do bring out these strange movies. I'm going to say strange because I haven't heard of it. I'm not saying it's a strange movie. Just to me, it is. It's a strange choice, I feel, but I'm glad they did. And it's really, like I say, picture quality is vibrant beyond belief. So at number 9, that's Croupier. At number 8 is The Exorcist. Now, when this came out, it did raise a lot of heads with people. There was two sides of the fence with this. Some people loved it, me, and some people couldn't stand it. Now, I thought that this movie, yes, when you examine it with a fine tooth comb, you can see there's a few problems with it. It's not 100% great, but this, for me, I think that majority of this movie is so super colourful, but it's colourful in a good way that really lends to the film. I feel that this movie has looked cold in the past, but that's not the thing against the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray does look good. But if you want a warmer touch approach to The Exorcist, do check out the 4K. And I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Tris, aka Warp Art Studio, for give. What a shock I got there. Anyway, getting back to this. Yes, a big thanks to my good friend Tris, aka Warp Art Studio, for giving me this. I still can't believe it. It's incredible to think that I've got this, and I will be watching this again. I will watch the shorter cut on here because I've watched the longer cut the last time. But yes, it does divide people. But for me, I'll leave a link to my original review of it down below if you want to check out a bit more about this. But I do think that this is, for me, it's a great version of The Exorcist, and I'm really happy that it's come out in 4K. It's great to get these movies out with all these anniversaries. Hopefully, they'll continue on with. There's a lot of anniversaries coming up for some great movies. So at number 8, that's The Exorcist. At number 7, and this shows you that I don't shy away from controversy on my channel, is Halloween Ends. Mm, yeah. Anyway, we'll not talk about the movie. But I've got to say, all of the Halloweens look really good, but this one, it just looks sensational. And actually, the first half of the movie I found quite entertaining. The second half, not so much. But you cannot fault the picture quality in here. If you want a movie that looks sensational, looks sensational, this is one of the best horrors that I've seen this year for look. The movie itself, wow. Well, I think I might put a review out of this, an honest review about this movie one time, but I have to watch it again because on my first watch, I wasn't too impressed by it. So anyway, I had to mention it because the picture quality is good, and this is all about the picture quality, isn't here? Like I say, if this was number one, I would have to put it in number one. Thankfully, it's not. I would hate to put this at number one of it in anything, or maybe number one at the worst movie of 2023 or 2022 when it came out. Anyway, enough of this one. At number 7, that's Halloween Ends. At number 6 is Star Trek, the motion picture. I had this on Blu-ray, and I was watching it on Blu-ray, and I thought the Blu-ray looked pretty good. But this one here, it's got this new director's edition, and it's got newly discovered footage and also deleted scenes, and it's got this new special effects which work in this movie. Because sometimes when you change the special effects, it looks really odd. But they've done such a great a job with that. If you didn't know it, you would never know that. If someone was watching this for the first time, who had never seen the original one, would want to blink an eye. So yes, so this is it's super sharp. They all aren't super sharp. I mean, all the 6 of them, they get a bit sort of not as sharp towards the end. I think, from number 3. Number 2 looks quite good as well. But this one, for me, looked just really, really nice. And I think the special effects and the color grading in here really lends to this movie. And I was so pleased to see it. I mean, I think this movie is absolutely brilliant. I thought it was great back in the day-ish, but now I think it's one of the best sci-fi movies I've ever seen, even though it's very slow. So at number 6, that's Star Trek, the motion picture. At number 5 is Roadhouse. Vinegar Syndrome, when I get their hands on a print, and make an absolutely beautiful job of this, and this was no exception. It's incredible. And this movie, I remember this movie from way back when. I thought it looked, well, at them days you never took that much notice of the picture quality, although you'd like it to look good. This just looks next level. It's so good, and it's great to see this movie coming to life. It's got a lot of colours in it that you wouldn't really notice, especially with the neon to do with the bar, the neon sort of signs and all that. It just really stands out. I mean, this box set is amazing. But I was actually, it's one of those ones where you know that it's going to be good, but you didn't realize how good it is when you see these movies presented by Vinegar Syndrome. So at number 5, that's Roadhouse. At number 4 is Deadly Games, Dial Code Santa Claus. Now, if you've seen Violent Night and also if you've seen Home Alone, you're halfway there. This movie is spectacular. And I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Craig Bumpers Movies. He got this movie off me in a sale, and he also JamSlips. He got me the slipcover. So between them two, I've got this amazing release. This is a French movie. Didn't know anything about it. Another Vinegar Syndrome, amazing title, comes out of nowhere, and you're blown away by it. Now, when I got this, I thought, right, 4K, it's going to look, I know it's going to look good, Vinegar Syndrome. I can trust them. But this looks really good. I mean, it's got. I mean, those are good. Those movies are good. If you've seen any of them ones, you know how good they are. But this one's like toppled them off. It's so good. Actually, when I put it in the list, I had it a bit lower down. But I'm looking at it and thinking about the actual picture quality. I had to put it further up. This movie's got a lot going for it. It's not just got a good print. It's just a brilliant movie. Just think of it like as a bit of a hyper violent Home Alone, which is a bit like Violent Night. So, you've got this like crazy psychopath Santa Claus. It's got everything going for it. And this Vinegar Syndrome release is unbelievable. The picture quality in here is just sensational for what it is. A movie like this, you would think would never look good, but it looks brilliant. I mean, to topple them ones, it would look that good. So number 4, that's Deadly Games, Dial Code, Santa Claus. At number 3 is Spartacus. Now, I watched all of Stanley Kubrick's movies recently, and I graded them. I'll put the link down to the video down below, and I talked about where I would have put them, and then I put the link down to where I actually put them when I watched them this time round. I had a really good time doing that, actually. But this was a movie that I actually didn't want to watch. I thought it's not going to be my cup of tea. I've tried it a couple of times, not got into it, and I thought, well, I was watching them all, so I had to watch this one, and it blew us away. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought the acting in it and the story was absolutely sensational. So as a movie, it's great. It went right up on my list in the rankings of the Stanley Kubrick movies. I was quite surprised at that. I thought it'd be at the bottom of the list, but it wasn't. But the picture quality on here, it's filmed outside most of the time. You get these people who are, the sun's shining, they're like hot and sweaty, tanned, and just the skin colours and everything about the ground, the sort of pebbles and everything is just crystal clear on it. It's just an amazing a movie for 1961, and you just think, how on earth can I get this looking so good? But obviously, they go back to these amazing 35 millimeter prints, or maybe this is even bigger than that, and you just get this amazing. That's what I like about these older movies when you get them and they do a good job on them. You can see things. These can blow away some of the new ones that come out. These can even like hit them off at the pass when you think this is obvious. Like Top Guns obviously look better than this, but not much. So yeah, amazing. So big fan of these old movies that have been brought back to life. So number 3, that's Spartacus. At number 2, and for a low budget horror movie, it's amazing how good this movie looks. It's Return of the Living Dead. I got this off my good friend Christopher Wynn. He sent me the 4K. I couldn't believe it. This is the Scream Factory one, and it looks absolutely amazing. You would think, obviously, with the way that people are dressed, you would not think it was made yesterday. But to look at it, you can't believe. I mean, I've seen this movie thousands of times. I had it on VHS. I had it on every format. And obviously, it's always looked a bit dark to me, if my recollection. But this one, it doesn't boost the sort of contrast, but it's bright when it needs to be. Obviously, it's filmed at night for most of the movie, and it's got the black levels are insane in this movie. You can see everything that you need to see in this graveyard. So yeah, so number two, I can't fault this movie at all. Big thanks to Christopher Wynn for dropping this to me. I just can't believe that he actually sent this to us, and it's I just can't wait to watch this one again. That's the thing when you get these ones I'm talking about them. I think I could watch them all again in a row. So number two, that's The Return of the Living Dead. So at number one in the best 4Ks I've seen in the year 2023 is Blood and Black Lace. I just, as soon as I got this, I thought there's nothing going to beat this. And I know this obviously Top Gun Maverick does, but I'm talking about ones that are like from yesteryear. Like I said before, these are the ones that I look forward to. I look forward to having these ones brought back to life in this fashion. I want them to be, I want them to look good, not too good, because if they look false, that's not the way I like it. I want us to look honest, and this one does. The colours in here are unbelievable. The sharpness, and I mean, Mario Bava directed it, so you know it's going to look good because he's got this eye. He's a cinematographer. He knows what he's looking for, and he's got the just. It's just amazing. I can't describe how good this one is. I mean, this movie's from 1964, so it just shows you the movie from this length, like time ago, can be like holding off. Like, well, Top Gun Maverick does sort of like beat this one, obviously. But if you take away the side of like when it was made to this one, it's pretty close because the technical wizardry that Mario Bava has with these movies shines through, and that's the amazing thing about it, that if this movie was presented in a sort of like bad fashion, just that dark, you would never see a thing. And you can see everything. The black levels in here are literally insane. And the colours are just spectacular. So at number one with the bullet is the amazing Blood and Black Lace. So thanks for watching. You take care. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers.